Good evening and welcome. I've decided to come live very spontaneously. Blessings this day, spring equinox. And what a day it is. Where we're celebrating the cycle of the sun and of the moon. And I'm just waiting to generate an audience. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. So today, spring equinox, there's an awful lot of energy and frequencies coming in at this time. The equinox gateways is open, receiving a lot of downloads. The energy is at the moment, I would say it's sort of subtle but strong. I'm feeling it subtle and strong. It's hard to put it into words. So, I have been receiving a lot of information coming in from the cosmic side. I've been doing a little bit of light language. As I've come in, I've just done a whole load of codes coming in. I don't know if you can see it. So there's a lot of stuff that I've had come through. A lot of this here is coming in from the Jupiter. A little bit of Jupiter and a little bit of Sirius. Also feeling a little bit, as I say, a lot of it's to do with my encodements, because I'm working very much with the Jupiter energy. I'm working as prime code keeper to the Jupiter energy frequency 2442. 242 is a combination of mine and Horus's codes. 42 Neteru, also 24 is a prime code for Jupiter. So a lot of these codes are coming in. Some of these I keep wanting to go, because there's this particular code here where I've got my finger, is very much a Jupiter, is very much the Jupiter encodement. A lot of stuff coming in, also about the balance, very much the balance at the moment, because we have full moon in Libra, so we are looking at, and in looking out my window I can see the moon. How wonderful. That is amazing. Amazing. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming through with regards to the full moon in Libra. We are called to focus our energy and light on divine balance. Divine balance, water and fire codes come in as it would do, because we're looking at sun and moon. Again, this beautiful equinox energy is bringing us back into focus, sun and moon. We're looking at sun and moon, looking at the harmonies, the divine masculine, divine feminine, all these attributes coming in. So that's kind of interesting, because there's a lot of codes coming in. I've even focusing on heart chakra. That encodement was coming in, feeling very serious there. Syrian light language, which is a love heart, but it's also about bringing our focus back to the heart center. Everything's heart center. Frequencies coming in from the great central sun is 528. 528 is very much connecting with our sacred heart and our DNA blueprint. much of that will enable us to connect with our higher heart. In doing that, we will have, and I've actually had some messages coming in to me today saying, from people feeling that they've been connecting with some past life stuff, past life visions. The 528 frequency will help you to expand on that energy, because the 528 is about the DNA activation, repairing DNA, and so forth. So the 528 frequency is very much coming in from the great central sun, as many have perceived it to be the solar flash. The solar flash, with the full moon energy, is about us entering into higher state of consciousness. As we're entering into higher state of consciousness, for many of us, going up into 5D, going beyond the 5D threshold, we become aware of spirit presence, galactic beings, connection with ourselves, our Akashic records, bringing ourselves into a higher state of consciousness, getting a higher knowledge of what's actually happening. It's like our codes are being unfolded, our encodements, primary codes that we're carrying 33, 36, which is a 369, and 144, which is all to do with the cosmic, universal, and cosmic codes. Once we're attuning ourselves into those frequencies, we're able to be not only shifting ourselves and healing ourselves, but we're able to be the pioneers to help others with our work, to help to heal humanity, to help to enlighten, to help others to awaken, and so forth. So there's a lot of stuff that's unfolding. I want to talk a little bit about some of the cosmic shifts that are happening. Again, I've been connecting with the Jupiter frequency and energy, and 42 keeps coming in. Again, it's a code that I'm that's tied in with my life path as well, and my soul urge, and so forth. So it's a little bit about myself, but I want to share some of the experiences that I'm receiving, because many of you may feel certain things that I may be having coming in for my own path, may be felt by many within the collective as well, because certain cosmic shifts that are happening within the universe will obviously be felt by many. So sometimes if I'm sharing stuff about myself and what I'm experiencing, you know, it helps other people maybe to understand what's actually happening for them as well. So I've been receiving some stuff from the Jupiter energy, which is very much a father energy. I've been working a lot with the moon energy, and the center of the center moon, the most innermost moon, is Io. Again, Io has encodements, which is something I've found out with regards to my encodements, because this is tied within my date of birth. Now, my date of birth is 28/7/1969. I was born on the year of the fire rooster. My life path is 42/6. Life path soul urge ties in with the 42 Neteru of Egypt. It ties in with Jupiter and Io and the Orion Belt, 42 Nebula. I'm also encoded to God star Sirius. Now, and also if I combine mine and Horus's code for this particular lifetime, his code is 24/6. So this is where we get the twin flame polarity. Now this is what our codes are in polar. So I'm 42, he's 24, but we've got the same life path, which is 6. So this is twin flame dynamics, so we're looking at numerology, cosmology and the twin flame dynamic, because twin flames, masculine, feminine, coming in on the law of polarity and law of gender. And basically twin flames are mirrors, so you will actually mirror and that polarity and mirror reflection comes in at certain degrees as you and your twin flame would have planned it coming into this lifetime. So there's a lot of encodements coming in. Now this is something that as you are evolving and growing and connecting more with yourself and your Akashic record, you become more aware of your encodements. And the encodements are planned and plotted prior to your incarnation, before you've come down, and these encodements will be within your date of birth, your natal charts, your ruling planet and your elemental life force. It can also be other aspects of the astrology that can come in, such as the Vedic astrology, the Chinese astrology and so forth. What I've actually discovered when I've been looking at my specific codes and encodements, my astrology and stuff like that, I was born on the year of the fire rooster. Last year was the year of the fire rooster. The fire rooster is a symbol of the golden phoenix. The golden phoenix is the symbol of the rising feminine. So the rising feminine is about the golden phoenix ascending. So technically, a part of my path has been about anchoring and rising the divine feminine. And this is something that many of us have come back to do in terms of those of you who have got past life recall of being a high priestess. And this high priestess role can be in any pantheon, whether it be Egypt, Atlantis, Lemuria, Greece, the Asias and so forth. So you would be having some encodements. So for those of you who have, as part of your numerology, 33/6, 33/6 is an encodement, part of your date of birth, to bring in the Christ consciousness. Those of you who've got 369 as a code, that is universal, that's universal consciousness, the keys to the universe, mastering areas of alchemy and magic and healing. So basically it's like code keeper. If you also have like 11 or a master number as your code, again, if you have 11, for example, 11 is a code pertaining that you're a gatekeeper, guardian. So there are different attributes and codes that come in from the cosmos. This is built into your DNA, your Akashic record, and so forth. And this is something that you would have planned before coming down. Certain numbers carry frequencies. It's like sacred geometric shapes, light language, and so forth would carry certain codes and encodements. So as a medium working with the Akashic record, I'm able to look beyond the soul, to be able to determine what that soul has come and agreed to come down here to do, and the areas of healing that needs to be facilitated. This is part of the ascension process. And part of the ascension process is knowing thyself. Knowing thyself, respecting thyself, and also where we're all part of the collective consciousness of Christ and love consciousness and so forth. This beautiful consciousness that is universal. We also are unique in a way because our uniqueness comes into our experiences, what we're learning, how we're evolving, what we're mastering, bringing our attributes into the fold. I'm going to say now, it's like I work with loads of mediums, okay, and healers, and no medium is the same, but it's brilliant because we can complement each other. So if you're sitting there and you've got an object in the middle and everybody's sitting around that object, everyone's going to see that object from a viewpoint, and that viewpoint is okay because they're looking at that same object, but they have different viewpoints from where they're sitting and what they're experiencing and so forth. This is what it's about. It is okay for us to have our uniqueness, to be souls, to be walking and embracing our journey. Part of today with our DNA upgrades, our healing, our connection, working from the space of the heart, is embracing who we are, loving thyself for who we are. This is the fundamental part of the ascension. I see so much going on about within the lightwork community, talks about fractal souls. People, it's just let me get going on to the Mary Magdalene. Now I'm fully aware there is the energy of Mary Magdalene. We have a collective energy of Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, a beautiful divine being. She incarnated at the time of Christ, as we all know. She is a gateway to the goddess energy. So we have the Magdalene of flame that works very similar to the Christ flame. Mary Magdalene, the Magdalene of flame, that also ignites in the same way as the mother flame. The role of Mary Magdalene and the Magdalene of flame is about the rising of the feminine. It is about activating the divine priestesses of various different orders, whether it be the Order of Melchizedek, the ancient mystery schools, different priestess roles from different pantheons and so forth. She is the metaphor for the divine priesthood. But many souls get that mixed up. They feel that they are the incarnation of Mary Magdalene, and this is where the mistake is, because it's not about whether you're the incarnation of, it's about how you are understanding that energy, because it's the energy. It's not about whether you've incarnated as such. It is about the energy and how you're embracing that in your everyday life. So it is a metaphor. So again, it's about the Christ energy that happens in the same way. I've explained a little bit about Mary Magdalene before, and I shared a post about the Magdalena flame, only to get half a dozen women message me over, Elaine, can you give me a reading please? I want to establish if I'm Mary Magdalene. And I had to say to these ladies, I'm sorry, I don't work in this way. Spirit don't work like this when we're connecting, because this is not about whether you've incarnated as Mary Magdalene. It is about whether you working in that conduit of energy, and embracing that energy and understanding that energy. And it is about, it is the same way as Christ consciousness, and also working in the mother flame. It is about embracing that conduit of energy and light, understanding that it's not about who did we incarnate as. That comes into play if you've had incarnations, and those incarnations are coming into play to understand your roles in this now. That's how spirit work. Spirit will tell you information that you need to know for this now. I am going to say to you that only one soul, spirit, embodies a human vessel, not 144 or 144,000 take that incarnation. There is a misunderstanding going about the New Age, but it's not about that, because it's not about 144,000 souls are on the earth at the moment here to make a difference, or 144 or anything like that, because what I've been told by my higher self and what I've been told by Horus is there's a wider humanity that's awakening at this moment in time. Those particular codes have been endorsed into humanity. So we are able to awaken humanity to a higher light, because this is what the plan is, as we are going in to the new golden age. We are working in on a wider scale, a lot wider scale. So yes, we have forerunners, we have light bearers, we have healers, we have mediums, we have galactic portals, i.e. people who are sharing galactic experiences. We have way showers. Everybody has a role to do, and everyone of us come together in a sacred space to share. This is what this is about. So I'm going to go now on to some of the galactic stuff that's coming in. Encodements with regards to IO. IO is the hub for the Jupiter, councils of light. I call them councils of light. So Jupiter has a council of light, Venus has a council of light, Saturn does. Every planet has a council of light. They have a planetary, what they call a planetary logos. And even the constellations, i.e. Sirius, will have a council of light. So they have planetary logos. And I'm fully aware of the planetary logos. I'm working with that particular energy and frequency. Some of you will have certain affinity to certain constellations. Some of you may have a working going on with Pleiades, with Lyra, Sirius, and so forth. And then you may get a feeling that you're working with certain planets as well. I shift around quite a bit, so yes, I'm working with Jupiter energy. This is what I do. I'm working with Jupiter, but I'm also working with the belt. I work with the belt, and I work with the belt that goes around in terms of the asteroid belt, and I'm working also with the Orion belt, and I'm fully aware of pulling this information in. The last video I spoke about a little bit about Meldek and the asteroid belt. There is certain shifts happening. There are certain silent planets within the asteroid belt. These silent planets often don't get spoken of, i.e. like Ceres. Some of you may know a little bit about Pluto. Gosh, there's another one that's tied in with the Buddhic energy. It will come to my mind in a minute. But there is another one. There are certain silent planets within the asteroid belt. Also, we have moons. We have moons. We have 4 Galilean moons that serve Jupiter. I know that 2 of them have and support life force, and 2 of them do not. Europa and Io support life force, and often this is to do with the structure of the moons. And there is I'm just trying to find out, because Ganymede that does not support life force. I'm trying to find out the other moon. It's right at the tip of my tongue. It will come to my mind, because I know there is Saturn also has moons as well. Callisto. That's the other moon. There are also other moons as well, but they're 4 Galilean moons. There are also other moons actually serving Jupiter. This is getting really interesting because I'm actually picking up other moons as well. I am actually I'm getting a whole hub now, whole hub of moons that is circling the actual belt. And what I'm getting is that these moons have all been named after situations, gods, goddesses, priests, priestesses, different pantheons. I also would say that these particular moons have got different functions. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of these moons are also serving Mars as well. And I'm also, as I'm picking up, this is what I keep, as I'm just sort of tuning in now. I'm actually connecting with the Orion belt, and I keep getting the supernova Betelgeuse that's happening, and that's imminent, and that is about birth and renewal. I want to say that the structure of some of these moons are all different in structure. Some of them work with fire, and some of them work with water. I'm getting fire and water, heat and cold, so I'm getting a sense of polarity going on. Again, certainly within this belt, there's a huge sense of polarity. It's like hot and cold, heat, heat and so I'm getting all that again. So again, this polarity thing is going on with this galactic belt. I also want to say that certain moons go into retrograde orbit as well, and that can actually affect the energy. And if certain moons go into this particular retrograde orbit, again that affects the energy. And there's a whole load of these moons. because I'm actually seeing a whole load of them. I'm just seeing a whole load. And talking about retrograde energy, I'm also picking up Mercury in retrograde at the moment, and it is a time for us, again, with that particular energy. Some people say disconnect, I'm feeling this energy, I'm feeling retrograde energy. So, but what I would say, with Mercury being in retrograde, a lot of it's about bringing the focus back to the throat chakra, empower the throat chakra, but take time for silent communication. Take time to write those thoughts down, and so forth. I want to say that there is certain activations happening within Sirius A at the moment. I want to connect with the Golden Temple of Sirius A. There's a frequency coming through, the gamma rays coming through from the God Star, anchoring 0 point energy, golden white light. For those of you who are receiving some encodements, you will feel a very high resonance energy coming in. This is also accompanying the 528 frequency that is activating the DNA strands. The DNA strands are activating. There are more DNA strands now activating, going beyond the standard 12. That is going to take you into a avatar state of consciousness. For those of you who are embracing your higher selves in alignment with your Akashic records, because basically if you're embracing your higher self, you'll be pulling in all aspects of self in now, making sure that you're aligning. It's the mind, body and spirit alignment, and this is basically what this is about, where we're coming back and embracing our true qualities, our true self, our authentic self, bringing that beautiful energy in, our higher aspect, aligning ourselves, mind, body and spirit. So this is basically bringing ourselves back into whole. So I'm just, there's a lot of stuff that's coming in at the moment. There are sound frequencies, as I say, the sound frequencies and the harmonic frequencies of the universe at the moment is 528. There's a lot of stuff I'm getting. So I'm literally connecting cosmically at the moment. I'm just seeing if there's anything coming through on these specific codes. So it's balance, harmony, fire, water. I want to connect a little bit with the Phoenician energy. That is now also coming in with the moon energy at the moment, and it is about the connection with the Sacred Heart. The Venetian energy and light is amplifying. The Venetian energy is about love and light, really connecting with your quality, connection with the heart space. I'm picking up very much the frequencies and transmissions happening with the dolphin and whales, or the dolphin and whale energy, the sea creatures. I'm getting very much a connection, an activation for star seeds of Sirius B. Certain encodements are happening in activating the Lemurian and Atlantean energy. For those of you who have an affinity of working with the dolphin and the whales, it is about the transmissions, activations of transmissions. Vesica Pisces, birthing the new, birth and renewal. I'm receiving this as well as an activation, sacred geometric activation, Vesica Pisces. Again, the feminine energy as well, but also birth and renewal, purification, again fire and water. These are prime codes of the Equinox energy. Preparations are underway for Lionsgate. I'm now receiving this transmission. And this is the balance. We are entering the stage of enlightenment. 12, a trinity of energy and light unfolding. We are preparing, not only are we preparing for Lionsgate, but we are also embracing major shifts as well at Equinox. I am actually seeing eclipse gateway as well. We are preparing for significant eclipses forthcoming. A lot of the energy is about balance now, and Libra is very fundamental. It is actually ruling the moon at the moment. Yeah, the moon's gone in now. So there's a lot of cosmic shifts happening, significant shifts happening. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now because yeah. But what I'm going to do is I just need to I'd like to connect with you all now. Sorry, I'm just I'm just channeling mode at the moment. I'm just going to ask to connect now, just to join hands around the world. And as we're joining hands, setting our intentions to our hearts, to our lives, to whom we are, what we're here to do, and setting in motion the new, setting into motion our goals, our aspirations, our dreams. Let's bring this into motion. Allow this to manifest. But as we're doing that, we're setting our intention to those whom are around us, to those whom are in need of our healing and our grace, to those whom are in hospital at this time, to those whom have no one to care for them, to the sick, the frail, the injured, those who are facing end of life and transition, to the bereaved, to the homeless, to those who are facing war and conflict, those who are affected by crime, to the victims, but also to the families of the perpetrators. Also, let us pray for the perpetrators that they find healing, that they become aware of what they do. Pray for peace around the world. Pray for the governments so that they embrace peace and unity. And those who are affected by famine and natural disaster. Let the golden light from the great central sun pour down this beautiful healing energy and light. So it is done. I thank you all for joining me. Thank you very much for your lovely messages. And I'll come round and respond where it's needed. Thank you very much. I'm hoping to get this loaded up onto YouTube as well. If you haven't done so already, I'm actually loading videos up onto YouTube as well, which is Yonderville Channeling on YouTube. And I'm also available for readings, mentorship and healing services. All is done one-to-one via video link. So if you please subscribe to my services, and thank you very much. I love you all. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Be blessed. Keep shining. Keep shining beautiful. Love you all. Good night. God bless. Namaste.